In this vlog, I'm going to talk about ascribed status, and that is the social status that you are born with, not one that is earned. And in this show, Avatar: Legend of Korra, in this fictional world, there are people who have the ability to control and manipulate the elements, and this is an ability you are born with, and if you are not born with it, you cannot develop it. So in this short clip, we're going to see how this has affected the dynamics of these people in Republic City, and how the non-benders are reacting to the fact that these people have extraordinary powers that can be potentially dangerous and that they did not earn through their own means.
Are you tired of living under the tyranny of benders? Then join the Equalists! For too long, the bending elite of this city have forced non-benders to live as lower-class citizens. Join Amon, and together we will tear down the bending establishment!
What are you talking about? Bending is the coolest thing in the world.
Oh yeah? Let me guess. You're a bender.
Yeah, I am.
And I bet you just love to knock me off this platform with some water bending, huh?
I'm seriously thinking about it.
This is what's wrong with the city! Benders like this girl only use their power to oppress us!
What? I'm not oppressing anyone. You're oppressing yourself!
That didn't even make sense!
Now, just as a quick warning, the rest of this video might contain spoilers for this series. So, the idea is that these people who do not have bending powers feel oppressed by the benders, because a lot of these people having this extraordinary ability that can cause damage and stuff have like basically the criminals of this world tend to be benders because they have this physical advantage over non-bending people. And so these people who call themselves the Equalists, their main goal is to equalize the situation, and basically because they can't elevate themselves really to have the same level of power as the benders, they want to remove the benders' abilities of powers. And this is supposed to be impossible, but through some special means in the show, they find the way to permanently remove these people's bending powers. And so I think it's an interesting question as to whether this should be done. Is it right to equalize, to try to bring everyone to the same level and kind of equalize the playing field so that we all have equal opportunities and no one has an unfair advantage over another person? And in our modern society, we see this done with, there's kind of a general level that's considered normal, functionally normal, physically and mentally. And if someone falls below the level of like what is functionally considered normal, we try, as at least in America, we try to accommodate these people. So, for instance, if someone's wheelchair ridden, then they'll build. We try to build wheelchair accessible buildings. That's kind of something that is required of modern buildings and stuff like that. Or if someone has a learning disability or impairment, then there are like programs and facilities that the government will either subsidize or pay for or whatever, that will help these children or people to function at a level that is considered normal or average as best as possible, or to assist them to have all the things that everyone else is able to access, to make that accessible to them as well. Now, in this show, it's kind of a similar issue, but instead of the people having a lesser or a more difficult time, they actually have a advantage. They're above the norm as far as functionality goes. And so the same idea may apply. Okay, should they try to bring everyone to a normal, equal level where we're all within this general spectrum of what can be considered normal and average? And I don't really have an answer to that. I mean, I guess for the Avatar Korra in this clip, she says bending is awesome. She enjoys bending, and she's lived in this village kind of isolated, and this is her first time in a major city. And in this village environment, these kind of special abilities are celebrated because it's a more unforgiving world, I suppose, when you live in a village and you in more proximity to nature. Not everything's as regulated as in a big city. So she's seen as a as like something that gives her tribe an advantage and a better chance of survival and such things like that. While in the cities where they don't need these benders to run things, they have technology, they have systems, they're pretty well protected. They're not at the mercy of the natural elements or the or like wild animals or tribal warfare or anything like that. So they don't see these people as to be as much of a benefit to them, and they actually see the detriment they're causing by being in these gangs and wreaking havoc and such things like that. So, I mean, I don't have the answer to this. I feel like, for me personally, I try not to have strong opinions about things because most issues have two very well argued sides. But I thought it was a really cool kind of metaphor and a different take on this idea of ascribed status, and that's why I chose to do this vlog on that subject.